Tonight on Elon Local News.
Stove, the little overhead fan was actually leaking fluid.
Student complaints about off-campus housing maintenance are being ignored. We investigate the damage and if the company plans to fix it.
We ride along with a recent graduate from a different kind of school.
And yesterday might have been about Panthers and Broncos, but we caught up with some athletes playing in a different bowl.
We have those stories and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Rajat Agarwal.
And I'm Jackie Pascal. We begin tonight with news concerning off-campus housing.
Before you make the decision to stay on campus or move off, you might want to know who's taking care of your apartment. Our Paula Blanc is here with some news concerning students who plan to make the off-campus switch. Paul?
Rajat and Jackie, as students plan to make the move off campus, I looked into how real estate and management company BC Parker hasn't been winning people over with its maintenance standards and the upkeep of its apartments.
The little overhead fan was actually leaking fluid, and it was staining the wall.
BC Parker is one of the largest real estate groups in Alamance County, overseeing more than 200 units surrounding Elon's campus. According to U.S. News and World Report, 38% of Elon students live off campus. Senior Ryan McElroy, who lives on West Trollinger Avenue, lives in an apartment managed by BC Parker and says the real estate group hasn't made maintenance a priority.
At least 4 different major things where our functionality of our apartment was compromised because of the fact that repair work wasn't going on.
Seniors Laura Hollister and Megan Dyer, who also live on West Trollinger Ave, say BC Parker has been inconsistent when it comes to their standards for student housing. This comes after a light outside their house didn't get repaired.
They're on us about my hammock straps being out. That just seems like that's not fair, that we don't get lights for 4 months, but then my hammock can't be out for more than a week.
While some students love the freedom that comes with living off campus, that freedom can come at a price, like the maintenance of these buildings.
Had a light out in our kitchen, and it's not a standard light bulb. It's a long tube. So we called them about fixing that, and they said that we had to replace it ourselves. But these aren't the type of just average light bulbs that we can just go buy or that we would feel comfortable installing ourselves.
If you want people to be able to have safe living conditions, you need to be sure that you're staying on top of these sorts of things.
While not every student has problems with the real estate company, Dyer says it's a matter of knowing what you're getting into.
Frustrating.
It's really cheap rent.
It's definitely cheap rent, for sure.
You pay for.
We reached out to BC Parker for a comment, and they responded by stating in part, quote, "We do not have a 24/7 maintenance staff. All work is subcontracted out to vendors. Their schedules will also play a big part in the timing of the response. It is a common misconception that BC Parker owns the properties, when in fact we do not and are property managers." Go to elonlocalnews.com for a full web article and BC Parker's entire statement. I'm Paula Blanc. Rajat and Jackie, back to you.
If you decide to live on campus, Residence Life will be holding info sessions throughout the next few weeks. The first session is tonight at 7 in Mosley 215.
This year, all housing applications will be done through a new online system. Rising juniors and seniors can apply to live at Station at Mill Point beginning February 23rd, and students interested in living in the new Park Place apartments can sign up the next day.
Upperclassmen who don't want to live in either Park Place or Station at Mill Point can apply for housing on February 26th. Sophomores can begin their housing process the following week. Be sure to check your email for more information on the housing in coming weeks.
Safety on campus can be a concern, as well as safety in our community. And currently 4 men are in training after recently graduating from the Burlington Police Academy. Elon's Meredith Stuss rode along with one of the new officers who wants people to know there's more to the force than a badge and a gun.
Ever since he was little, Curry Hall knew he wanted to be in law enforcement.
I always look at cops and think I wanted to be like that.
Now at 25 years old, despite his family's worry, the North Carolina native is one of 4 men in training with the Burlington Police Department.
They say, you got a degree, why don't you go do something you can use your degree in? I got criminology as my degree, so I don't know what else I could do, maybe work in the jail, but I don't want to do that. I like being out.
But he says the real reason he joined the police department is for the kids.
If you can be more of a role model or a mentor to them, that in itself could deter them from wanting take a different path in their life.
But for many, the presence of police can evoke varying opinions.
Because of what's been happening in the world, is the brutality and the mistreatment of the citizens. But from personal experience, I've never had an issue like that.
I think the police out here in Burlington are amazing. They do a great job.
While many people might get upset or nervous when they see an officer approaching,
Officer Hall says he wants people to consider his point of view.
It's just a uniform. Underneath is a person, too.
A 2015 Gallup poll showed police trust levels at a 22-year national low. Even so, Officer Hall says he hasn't lost his faith in the force.
There's always a few bad apples, but for the most part, the police are pretty good human beings.
After his days on the streets, Officer Hall says he hopes to work up to being a student resource officer in local schools. Meredith Stutz, Elon Local News.
The 4 officers will each complete 60 days of training before officially becoming part of the Burlington Police. If you are interested in participating in the ride-along program, call the department number below at 336-229-3503. And for more on Officer Hall's interview, check out elonlocalnews.com. While body cameras for police are still being developed, 2 Elon Juniors recently received the Elon Kickbox to create a similar concept, but for those without a badge. Developed by the Elon Maker Hub, the Kickbox, a cardboard box filled with a Visa gift card and guidance, was awarded to Keith Davis and Ifany Obi to further develop their mobile app, Our Watch. The application they're developing lets you record video and snap pictures of crime and social injustice. Within the app, users are able to drop pins and share their footage with community members and local police. Obi says the app may also be useful in light of recent police brutality cases.
Let's say something did happen in the community and it may have involved a police officer and they take your phone as evidence. You no longer have that evidence. So what we plan on having is through the social media aspect is that you always have your video and it's always saved in the cloud space. So you always have access to it.
The 2 hope to gain acceptance in other startup programs for more funding and brand development.
Tomorrow, the eyes of the political world turn to New Hampshire. Voters on both sides of the aisles will have the opportunity to cast their votes for the candidate of their choosing. Presidential candidates have hit the state hard since Iowa, with the cost of political advertisements on TV, radio, and print across the Granite State reaching into the millions.
Our Gary Grumbach is in Manchester, New Hampshire, covering Chris Christie's campaign. Gary, the governor is at 6% in a recent CBS News poll among registered New Hampshire Republicans. That's 6th among the GOP candidates. Gary, what's the mood like where you are?
Rajat, you would never know that was the case based off the crowd behind me. There's more than 150 people packed into the St. George Orthodox Church here in Manchester, New Hampshire. The governor is expected to take the stage in just a few minutes, and he's joined by a couple special guests. Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland and the cake boss, Buddy Valestro, will be joining him and supporting the governor, giving speeches. Now, this is Governor Christie's 4th town hall, and as him and the rest of the candidates are in crunch time now, this could be a do-or-die situation for the Christie campaign, as he did poorly in Iowa, and his poll numbers in South Carolina aren't above 4%. So those primaries are scheduled in February 20th. I spoke to a number of young voters at the town hall earlier today, and they were telling me that his natural service option when it comes to college debt is what they are really interested in doing. They're interested in doing service and getting paid for it and paying off their college debt. So they're excited about that, and now to see if that excitement turns into votes. Polls close in just about 24 hours from now. Live in New Hampshire, Gary Grumbach, Elon Local News.
Thanks, Gary. Check out elonlocalnews.com for details and up-to-date coverage for the New Hampshire primary and the upcoming election.
Coming up, we look into the future of Elon dining. We'll tell you which dining options are moving out and which are moving in.
I'm Connor Del Preet, and coming up next, I looked into how transfer students are adjusting to a new environment.
For most Elon students, their first day at Elon follows fall convocation. But for other students, their first day at Elon is this week. Our Connor Del Preet looked into spring transfer students' first impressions of the university.
For many students, the first week in February is a time for reuniting with friends who studied abroad and beginning classes. But for spring transfer students, this period can signify the start of a new chapter in their life. Sophomore Ray Piopo, a transfer from George Washington University, comes to Elon searching for a more intimate atmosphere.
Coming from a big, institution, I wanted a place where I felt like I was at home, and I felt like Elon would give me that, the opportunities of a big research institution while also having a small campus feel.
According to Vice President of Admissions and Financial Planning Greg Zeiser, of the approximately 140 transfer students, 32 are spring transfer students. While the spring class size pales in comparison to the fall, Zeiser says his department tries to prevent the size difference from affecting the student's orientation experience.
In the spring, what we've tried to do in the last several years as we grow our spring enrollment, whether it's first-year students in the spring or transfer students, is to develop a program similar in structure to what students do in the fall semester, only on a smaller scale.
Sophomore Nicholas Travis also just began his first semester at Elon after transferring from Pace University in New York City. Like Piopo, Travis says he wanted a close-knit student body.
This past October I came and visited and was just absolutely infatuated with it. Something about just having that campus and that really strong sense of community was something that was missing.
While students like Nicholas and Ray may have started their journey through admissions later than most Elon students, they can still call this campus their home. I'm Connor Delpreet, Elon Local News.
For anyone looking to help transfer students acclimate to campus, contact Kevin Knapp to join the Transfer Student Organization.
In a few years, campus might look foreign to more than just transfer students. Changes are coming to Elon, and this time it's not in addition to a building or new dorms, it's dining. Elon Dining recently presented proposed changes to McEwen Dining Hall to the Student Government Association. Changes include Burger Fry, a gourmet burger restaurant that plans to take the place of Acorn, and Pei Wei, an Asian cuisine restaurant. The proposed changes are planned for this summer, with McEwen renovations starting during the next academic year. And while these changes are happening, McEwen's staples such as Fried Chicken Thursday and Late Night will move to Lakeside. Elon Dining will present their planned changes to university senior staff this week.
It's Mardi Gras in downtown Burlington, and one store has more to offer than just these sweet treats.
I'm Kaylee Tracy, and coming up, I'll let you know if you need to bring out your hat and gloves this week.
I thought today was going to be freezing, but the sunshine kept me warm. Our Kaylee Tracy is in downtown Elon with your forecast. Kaylee, what should I expect for the rest of the week?
Well, the groundhog didn't see his shadow last week, meaning an early start to spring, but today sure didn't feel like it, with a low of 25 degrees. And if you're waiting for those spring-like temperatures, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, with freezing temperatures forecast for much of the week. Let's take a look at your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow, the sun will peak out with a high of 38 degrees and a low of 23. Temperatures will fall lower Wednesday, dropping to the teens with a high of just 36 degrees and a little bit of sunshine. Thursday, the sun's rays will be out in full force, but temperatures will remain low, hitting only 35 degrees. Friday will be the warmest day of the week at 39 for the high, with afternoon showers predicted. The sun will come back Saturday, but temps will dip into the teens with a low of 10 degrees and a high of 33. So the good news is that the sun will stick around for much of the next few days. The bad news, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer to play Frisbee out on the Commons. With your Phoenix 5-day forecast, I'm Kaylee Tracy.
Thanks, Kaylee. It's a good thing the sun is shining bright tomorrow for Fat Tuesday. One store in Burlington is celebrating early. Our Ashley Bully headed downtown to see how the shop travels back in time this Mardi Gras.
Purple, green, and gold-themed cupcakes and beads means Fat Tuesday is coming, but for one store on East Front Street, it also means ample foot traffic in downtown Burlington.
I can say that one of the best things about downtown has been the merchant population.
Lynn Cowan is one of 11 stores running sales to celebrate the holiday. She's the owner of LYNCO Studios, a home furnishing store which refurbishes wooden pieces by adding an artistic flair.
We're selective. There are certain antiques that we'll never paint.
Cowan has a 30-year background in architectural preservation and experience in interior design.
This is my fun thing.
It's not just the art, but the wood itself. Cowan says if you can't sit on it, it's not worth selling.
For the most part, there's a lot of quality furniture out there that's not unique enough to preserve the way it is.
Cowan says keeping her eyes peeled allows her to discover new treasures for her shop.
It really bothers me when you think of sort of the embodied energy in some of these pieces, that they would just get thrown out when it's really easy to give them a new life so that they can continue to do what they were made to do.
While Elon students are more interested in smaller items like chalkboards and trays, she says Elon parents are the ones who buy her bigger pieces. Ashley Boley, Elon Local News.
If you want to see more of Cowan's work, she posts all of her latest additions to the sales floor on LYNCO Studios Facebook and Instagram pages.
Fat Tuesday isn't the only reason to overindulge. Our Caroline Hartshorn spent some time in Burlington snacking for a good cause.
I'm at the Holly Hill Mall, and today the reason I'm wearing this chef's hat is because we are at a chocolate festival. I have this container that I'm going to fill up with handmade chocolates that have been created from around the town. Let's go check it out.
34 sponsors ranging from church communities to local restaurants brought more than 500 pieces of homemade chocolate for people like me to choose from. The 6th annual Chocolate Festival is one of the biggest hits for the nonprofit organization Christmas Cheer.
Christmas Cheer is a charitable 501c3 nonprofit that has been helping children and elderly for over 80 years in our community.
Through different events around the year, this organization serves around 2,000 children as well as almost 200 elderly by raising money to provide winter clothes, meals, and even help pay bills.
It's, I think, a fabulous event. Everybody's happy. Chocolate.
We are still on the hunt for the best piece of chocolate. This tiramisu is looking pretty promising.
It's amazing. Here you go.
I like the haystacks just because I made them.
The chocolate from the Elon dining services, and it was fantastic.
Like the Ritz crackers dipped in the white chocolate with peanut butter.
What about
I
you?
like the magic bars. They're amazing. Yeah.
Everybody, and I mean everybody, had a favorite.
Take a bite. Take yours.
This is our last stop on the tour. Finally found my favorite piece of chocolate. I'm Caroline Hartshorn. Elon Local News.
The Panthers and the Broncos may have been the main event, but on Super Bowl Sunday, man's best friend also got a chance to shine.
Coming up next, I'll recap Super Bowl 50 and show you how local residents came together to watch the big game. The Carolina Panthers and their fans are still recovering from a 24-10 loss to the Denver Broncos in last night's Super Bowl. Many students had their televisions on campus tuned in. We took a look at where else Elon students and the local community watched the big game. Panthers fans gathered at Graham Cinema for a free viewing party of the game on the big screen. I spoke with Jennifer Talley, the theater's owner.
Just super excited that North Carolina is in the Super Bowl this year. So, Cam Newton's just, no matter whether you're a fan of Carolina or not, what he's done this year and what that team has done is just really phenomenal. And you have to respect the athleticism that they have. And they've really accomplished a lot this year. It's been great to watch them.
Students were celebrating more than just on campus. Elon students also gathered at several area locations, including Fat Frog and the Danley Center Gym, both places serving plenty of chicken wings and Panther spirit. While some students were excited for the Panthers and the Broncos to take the field, our Andrew Feather found a different animal gearing up for a big game.
A crowd gathered at Asheville Pizza and Brewing Company Sunday afternoon not for the Super Bowl, but the Puppy Bowl. The annual event, televised on Animal Planet, featured 4 puppies from North Carolina's Asheville Humane Society, including Bella, a female rat terrier found along a highway when she was just 3 months old. Bella was a little shy in her interview with ELN. So Bella, how do you think you performed? But she sure wasn't on the field of play.
Sounds of furry cuteness that you don't want to mess with.
Volunteer at the Humane Society, Dee Fisher, brought Bella to the Puppy Bowl, and by the end of filming, just couldn't give her up.
We just immediately bonded, and when we got home, I couldn't bear to put her back in the shelter, so I adopted her.
The Puppy Bowl was filmed in October, so participants like Bella here have been adopted, but events like this provide opportunities for other animals to find their forever homes.
It just brings great awareness for us as far as rescue puppies and that adoption being an option for people. Hey, bud.
The viewing party doubled as an adoption event for the Asheville Humane Society and helped 4 puppies find new families. But there are always animals that need a new home.
There are puppies of every shape, size, color, anything you may want, and they're available at rescue organizations.
Andrew Feather, Elon Local News.
That's all we have for sports tonight. For the latest updates, check out our website at elonlocalnews.com or follow us on social media like Facebook and Twitter at ELN Sports. I'm Rachel Ellis. Jackie and Rajat, back to you.
Yeah, Rachel, did you get a chance to watch to see how Peyton Manning and Cam Newton, so polar opposites almost, a young quarterback versus old quarterback?
Absolutely. And, Cam Newton was definitely very upset. Peyton Manning definitely possibly one of his last games. He said he was indecisive, but, definitely a possibility.
Yeah, and I thought the defenses, it was incredible. It was almost like the offenses were shut down. Whichever team could get the stop was going to win the game. And,
no, absolutely. It was a great game overall, great season for the Panthers.
And one thing that happened yesterday, if you haven't seen it yet, Shea Burnett's double overtime buzzer beater was incredible. So, Jackie, if you haven't seen that yet, you have got to go check it out.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was one of the best plays I have ever seen. She was inbounding the ball, throws it off the other player, gets the ball herself and lays it up. Our own Alex Hager on the call. You have got to go check it out. It is incredible.
Incredible. 66, 64, right at the buzzer in double overtime. I mean, it doesn't get more exciting than that. So really great.
I will definitely have to tune into that. I'll have to watch that.
You were mentioning before, the Puppy Bowl has become a rivalry of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was really looking forward to. I really was excited to see the Puppy Bowl, and even the commercials this year were very focused on puppies and animals, and even some social issues and stuff like that. I don't know if you saw the Heinz commercial, but it was a lot of puppies. It was really, really cute. Definitely, that's the video I would tell you guys to watch, the Puppy Bowl videos and some of the commercials.
Gonna have to check that. I actually have not seen that. So.
I know, I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, well, that's all we have tonight for Elon Local News. Regina will continue as your anchors for the rest of the remainder of the semester, along with ELN's Brianna McClelland.
You can find our stories online at elonlocalnews.com or on Facebook and Twitter at Elon Local News. And you can also check us out on our new app. You can download the ELN application on the App Store for any smartphone.
From all of us here at ELN, have a great night, Elon.